Hello and welcome to Respect the Crit. I'm your host and game master, Ian Duncan, and my pronouns are he, him. I am joined by some incredible people in HD. We got them in 4K. First is Jamie Lee-Bonés.
Hello, I am Jamie, she, her, and I play Elo, they, them. How you doing today? I never ask you how you're doing, Ian. You're always so kind.
Everyone always asks what Ian, but never how Ian.
Exactly. How Ian?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing good too. It's a good day. I'm excited to play.
Yeah, nice. Good to hear. Good to hear. Also, filling out our roster is the one, the only Alex Herrera.
Hi, I'm Alex. I play Beegax Botano, the Doug Slicer. How, Ian?
Ian good. Ian warm. Ian full. Ian like Jamie. Excited play.
Ah, good. Ian good, Jamie good. Alex.
Alex good too.
Alex good. Alex good. Hot. Alex feel hell. Hot.
Hell hot. Bad hot.
Bad hot.
The hot heat. The sticky heat. Yeah, it's a little bit warm pretty much everywhere, and it's making it so it's ruining our brains so that we can only speak in limited language. But I think it's more efficient this way, and we're going to try to do an episode in it.
Like that. Oh my god, can you imagine a whole episode like that?
The whole thing, just talking
Yeah.
Save time. See world.
You know, if there's one place that could use a few more Kevinisms, it's the world of Star Wars. And speaking of Star Wars, why don't we jump into it? A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away.
Episode 41, Locals of Lehon. The crew of the Way find themselves above the planet of Lehon, an ancient world full of forgotten knowledge and strange secrets in the unmapped region of wild space. This is the last known location of Beegax's lost friend Chai, a Chandra fan slicer on the run for stealing classified Imperial information. After sharing a dream of childhood memories, Beegax and Elo are convinced the Force is involved in their unexplained experiences and decide to keep this information a secret from the rest of the crew. But are they the only ones holding something back? Will their trust be challenged out here in the unknown? Our fearless fringers may need a beacon to guide them through this strange, uncharted world.
Let's roll the Destiny roll. That's pretty important.
I'm very upset with the Wills of the Force. I saw what they did to me.
Did they? Were they
Yep.
not? Aww. Wills.
What'd you all roll?
One dark side for me. I'm just adding to the
Oh
fire.
no. Me too. One dark side.
Yeah, I knew it.
Well, it seems that we are balancing each other out because I rolled 2 light side.
Yay!
Oh snap. Okay.
And yes, we did pull the Wills of the Force, and I gotta say, I was watching it, and I let it go on a little bit longer than I usually do. And I was watching it, and it was like light side, light side, light side, and then there was like a turning point about 24 hours in, and it was just like dark side just squeaked by. So yeah, the Wills of the Force have smartly, in my opinion, decided to challenge you with an additional dark side point that will go away from the game once it's used.
I almost like, it's weird to say because I prefer when we have more light side, obviously, but I feel like the sessions where we're outnumbered with dark side points just turn out so good.
Yeah,
You
put
know,
us in
it's
rough
like-
spots, so we have to
Exactly.
really
We
think
gotta
about it.
really think it through, and so I guess in a way, thanks, Wills.
Our camera follows the ship called the Way as it floats in front of a vibrant and verdant world. An enormous contrast from the dusty red of Socorro. where the crew of the ship has spent much of its time, and far from any known system in the galaxy. This is wild space, an unmapped and little explored quadrant of the galaxy, far from even the frontier edges of the outer rim, a place of isolation, a place of mystery, a place of long forgotten histories. Our camera cuts inside to the deck of the ship, following along its tight corridors and into the cockpit, where several of its crew stare out at the world in breathless silence before taking themselves down to its surface.
I sit down in the pilot's chair, but first I make sure that Gur's not around. I'm like, okay.
I think everyone's there. Everyone's sort of like gathered in the cockpit. But yeah, I think Gur, although he claims ownership of the ship, I don't think he's ever like, I'm the pilot. Like, I don't think he ever like sits there. You know?
Okay, then Beegax looks at Gur and nods, if I may, and he sits in the pilot's
He
seat.
just like gestures, please.
And under his breath, Beegax grabs a hold of the controls. Damn right. Looks at Rat for a second. What with the bumpy entrance, by the way?
Brr, 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 and just says, "You're welcome."
No, I wasn't Okay. Knock some switches up.
Yeah, and you can see out the cockpit window is this rather kind of beautiful planet. It's a lot of water, and it looks lush, like very lush. I want to emphasize here, you all have a full tank of gas and supplies and everything, so no need to worry about anything yet, but like, you are out in the middle of nowhere. Like, this is wild space, and nobody comes here, and it is way off the beaten path. So if you get stranded here, like, this your home now. Like, you live on this planet.
That new life. Well, I gotta wait for the Empire, I guess.
And like, nobody comes around these parts. You know what I mean? Like, that kind of thing. But the planet is beautiful, and Obram looks out to the planet and he goes, "Lehon, or Rakata Prime, the center of the infinite empire. It is glorious to behold. I've only ever read about it."
Beegax stops, turns around. Wait. What infinite empire? What are you talking about?
This is the home planet of the Rakata species. They were once a race that conquered the galaxy with their force-wielding abilities. Long, long ago, even before the Old Republic, they were able to use force-imbued technology to enslave and dominate the galaxy.
Beegax looks at Elo, and then back to the front, like the front of the cockpit. Cool. Sounds like a bunch of friendly guys.
Cool.
Friendly they were not. No, they were ruthless, brutal, cannibalistic even.
No, Obram, it was a joke.
Oh,
it's a
yes,
joke.
Sorry.
Okay. Thank you for making the joke worse than it actually already was. R4, can we do a landing, please?
We won't need to worry about it. They're long gone, extinct.
What took them out?
Initially, a plague seemed to infect all of them and divorce them of their connection with the Force. Because of that, their empire collapsed into barbarism, and they were not able to hold on to the empire that they had. They regressed in terms of society, and it crumbled all around them.
Feel free to edit this out, Ian, but get your vaccinations, people.
This is what'll happen. Sound familiar?
Dun, dun,
You
dun.
lose control. Vert to barbarism. Beegax will listen to the history lesson and kind of just like close his eyes like, I don't want to hear this. So, Rat, please begin landing sequence.
Rat like gives you a little salute with his spindle and begins typing in some stuff. And the ship, where are you taking it down?
Probably a clear. If there's a clearing, you said there was jungle, right?
I didn't, but that is what a lot of this terrain looks like: jungle, rainforest, tropical beaches.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but that is the environment, and a lot of like islands. It seems like this whole place is like archipelagos and isles, and they're sort of broken up. The landmass is broken up that way.
I was going to say, as we're like flying in, preparing to land, Elo is going to jokingly say, "Perhaps we'll get that vacation after all," to the crew, because it's just so beautiful here.
Oh no, this is a powerful conflux of dark side energy. We must be careful here. The planet remembers.
Beegax looks at Obram. You know, we talked about coming here a while ago, and none of this came up.
You never asked.
Oh, we're gonna die.
It's fascinating, and it is gorgeous.
But dangerous, right?
Oh my, yes.
You know, Obram, sometimes you scare me. This is one of those times. But I'm also really glad that, you're the expert on the Force and things of that nature.
It looks wet.
Yes, it looks very humid. I'm also not a fan of that.
Yeah, me neither. I was staying on the ship.
Beegax looks at her. Again?
Look, warm and dry, I'm all about that. Warm and wet, forget it.
How? And he puts a hand on his head. How are you a spy for the Bothan spy network? I don't understand.
I mean, he is a cat, and they hate getting wet.
Nothing that I was doing in spy work had to do with places out in wild space like this. You can keep your jungle.
Okay. A spy who doesn't like getting wet. I thought I'd seen it all. And then he'll look on the computer. He'll look at where there's like a small chain of islands with some cover, but there's one island that perhaps doesn't have a lot of tree growth. Flat surface enough where we can park the ship. And I'll pick that.
So yeah, you fly down onto the planet. Vroom, we see the way like dipping in onto an arc into the atmosphere of Lehon, or as we know it now, also Rakata Prime, and in the long ancient times. And it lands. We like wipe cut to, it firmly on the sand, and the cargo door going down. Who are you? Who is all disembarking with y'all?
Yeah, who's coming on this Mass Effect mission?
Yeah.
Who's a party?
Yeah, it's very Mass Effect now that I think about it.
I was just thinking, I was like, damn, I beat 1 and I'm playing 2 from the Legendary Collection. I'm like, oh my god, we are Mass Effect. Elo and I are Shepard.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so we have to bring Obram apparently.
He wants to be here,
go.
yeah.
So we have a baby with us.
Mm-hmm.
Gur doesn't want to come.
Rat'll stay on the ship.
Rat is never getting off this ship. Are you kidding me? The minute he gets off, he's gone. He's never coming back.
So you've
like,
kidnapped him.
Help! I've been kidnapped.
Yeah, you've kidnapped him, and now you're holding him hostage.
Well, because I know he'll leave. He'll be like, I have been with these fugitives. Please help me, Empire. He'll sell us out. I guess we could bring Creed and Verse again, but I mean, I don't know. Verse seems like she's... If there was like a meter for like party allegiance, she's like slipping into the I'm about to dip.
Mm. And like I would want to bring Creed because he's great muscle, but after the last, mission, I don't know if he's up for it mentally.
Yeah, I guess then Beegax would ask Verse and Creed in confidence. As the ramp is going down and we're loading up. Are you two up for this?
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't mind warm and wet. Sounds nice.
Perfect. What's that Verse?
Verse looks right at Elo. I just want us all to be safe.
Well, don't worry. I'll make sure to go up ahead. I wouldn't want you to be uncomfortable with anyone behind your back.
There you go. See?
And Elo will exit the ship first.
I thought we could all have each other's back.
Beegax nods.
It's fine. Everyone's fine. No one's having weird dreams or anything. Let's go.
He just walks off.
Creed and Verse like exchange a look with each other. Like, what?
You just hear from the bottom of the ramp. Oh, Brad!
Come on!
Hang on! I have to get my aqua socks.
He's probably got like a ton of stuff with him too, like all this research material and like.
God.
Yeah, he's probably got like a book or something, right? He's probably got like a nerd. Yeah, like a
book, like his favorite bowl, a prayer rug, and like some fake kyber.
The equivalent of whatever having that like little patch of sunscreen on your nose is.
Yeah, the zinc thing. Yeah. Okay, so it's Obram, Creed, Verse, and leaving everyone else aboard the ship. Okay.
Yes, and Barney is also of course with us.
Oh, always. Barney is wherever Elo is.
Cool.
You come out onto this world, this ancient world, and I mean, it feels old. It's like, you know, when you like, have you both been outside the U.S. at all? Yeah, like
I have many.
Yeah, you know, like you go to like the East Coast and you see something from like the 1700s and you're like, wow, that's old. And then you go outside the US and you see something from like 900 and you're like, that's fucking old.
Yeah.
Like,
how is it still here?
Yeah.
This thing is older than the entire nation.
And it's usually like ruins at that point. But yeah, you're like, wow. That's what it feels like. Like, just to be here, it feels like you've stepped back in time. And there's no cities or anything that you could see from planet. It's just dense jungle, rainforest, and
we didn't see any other ships like in Atmo.
No, we can't scan a planet like
Yeah.
that. I tried that
Yeah,
once already.
what would you guys like to do? I mean, it's warm and wet, but it's very different than Socorro.
Yeah.
It's not a dry heat.
Yeah, and it's not a dry heat.
Immediate sweat.
Well, lucky for you, Elo, they don't have any pores.
That's true.
You guys is like wiping his forehead.
Don't touch me though, you'll sizzle.
Oh, yeah, that's bad news. Maybe we find some eggs. We can cook them on you.
I guess we would, if Beegax could find a way to like look for any visible signs of, I don't know, smoke or any signs of like a fire or something, signs of life that are not primitive signs of life, like I got a fire. I guess smoke, any signs of smoke or something.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to have a fire somewhere.
Sure.
If we're on a beach, there might be footprints. I don't know.
Yeah, footprints could work too.
Why don't you both roll me a perception check?
Hey!
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to do that
My
now.
new eyeball.
I mean, I still only have one die, but still.
But it's a better die
It's
now.
a better one.
My perception has dramatically increased.
We'll call it an average check, so just 2 purple.
I got 2 successes, 1 threat.
2 successes.
We both see so much with these cybernetic eyes. Our cybernetic eyes just like really focus in.
Yeah. Thank you for using Panasonic Cyber Eye.
You both see smoke. Elo, you also see a bunch of like tiny insects that have decided to crawl all over you.
Oh.
Oh. Well, Elo's gonna swat them away.
Yeah, you swat them away and they leave like a gooey trail. They're like the kind of bug. It's almost so small that like trying to remove them, the act of trying to remove them just ends up destroying them. You know?
Oh, yeah.
Like aphids.
Yeah, like you're trying to like shoot, and it's just like
Aw.
Poor guys. I'm sorry, little dudes.
Having flashbacks of my grandma when she used to own a mango farm in El Salvador. She had fire ants.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then the farmer guys, the guys who worked there, I remember them cussing in Spanish as they had like these huge. I don't know if they were brooms or they were just sticks with other sticks attached to them, but they would just like roll it on the ground and just kill all the fire ants because they don't want to get anywhere near those guys.
Well, that's kind of what happens. You brush them off and they just like leave a gooey trail. You seem to be standing on a bunch of them.
okay. Well, I suppose Ella will take a few steps away from these and towards the smoke and just sort of point up at it. That could be them.
Beegax looks through his cybernetic eye, and it like the iris becomes gray, almost like it's like zooming in. And he looks to Elo and says, "Oh yeah, I see it too." And he points his eye. These are great, aren't they?
Much easier to work with, yes.
Oh, I love it. This is awesome.
Yeah, you see a plume of smoke. It's thin and looks like it's in the density of this tropical forest, but yeah.
I guess we would head for the smoke, but I think Beegax wants to do it quietly. He doesn't want us, he doesn't want everybody rushing through the jungle.
Gotcha.
So,
Gotcha.
Probably single file or double with what's his name? Obram in the middle because he's not of use in the back or front. We should put Verse and Creed behind us as Elo and Beegax lead the charge. The quiet, silent charge.
Quiet, silent
Silent charge. And I just want to point out that the mask that's on Elo's back is like staring back at Verse, making her even more uncomfortable. That's what you get, girl.
Hello, Fringers, Spacers, Scum and Villainy, and the Rebel Alliance. A real quick mid-roll here just to check in with you and keep you updated about our plans. Another heads up as we get closer to putting our Star Wars campaign on a brief pause. We will be starting a shorter campaign set in the Fallout universe using the brand new official Fallout RPG by Modifius Entertainment. That campaign will begin at the end of August 25th, I believe. We're doing this while Jamie steps away to have her baby, rest, and take care of her new family. She'll be back, but while she's away, we will have some new players at the table who will include friend of the show and our first ever guest GM, Xavier Trudeau Deschênes. Yes, we couldn't get enough of him. Xavier will be returning to Respect the Crit on the other side of the table this time as a vault dweller new to the Wastes. Also joining us will be another friend of the show and no stranger to tabletop role-playing game podcasts, Susan Spinader. If you know her, you know she is super talented. I have had the great pleasure to play with Susan in tons of games, and that's really just a measurement of statistics because Susan is in everything, and she loves to dedicate her free time to role-playing and actual plays. And she's going to be bringing that enthusiasm to her Wasteland Survivor in the world of Fallout. I'm going to be a player as well, stepping into the sloughing skin of a wasteland ghoul, and the one who is going to be taking us through these apocalyptic ruins. The imaginative and brilliant storyteller who has designed a whole custom territory never before seen in the Fallout franchise is our very own Alex Herrera. Yes, Alex is going to be our game master, and I'll just say you are in for an exciting campaign. I've been lucky enough to play in some of Alex's home games, and he goes all out. They are some of the most memorable games I have ever played. So that's our lineup. Starting at the end of August, we still got a few episodes of our Star Wars story before we take our little break, and we've still got a few more surprises about this upcoming campaign to announce. So keep listening, keep downloading, keep following us on social media, and keep checking in on these mid-rolls for more information. Thank you very much, and now, please enjoy the rest of the episode. The sounds of the jungle begin to get louder and louder as y'all step in. And you're trying to be quiet, so... Well, first of all, tell me what all of your vigilance is.
I have a yellow and a green, so I got to roll, right?
Same.
What do we average?
Nope, just I'd like you to roll me a stealth check, and we'll call it a. I think it's a hard check because you're going through this overgrowth and stuff like that. Yeah,
Yeah, I have one failure.
One advantage.
one failure, one advantage. Elo might miss this. Maybe they're calculating the distance of the smoke to them, approximating how long it's going to take or so. But Beegax, you hear a rustle in the bush nearby.
Beegax grabs his pistol, disintegrator pistol, almost instinctively has the hand on it as the holster's like on his chest, and he puts a hand up like, wait.
Hold on.
And he looks to where the brush moved and waits to see if it'll move again.
It doesn't.
Okay. He shakes it off
Must have been a critter or something.
and he'll continue forward.
You shake it off and continue going, and then something starts climbing down from the trees.
Climbing down.
Yes. And it takes you a little bit off guard because you didn't see, like, you heard the bush, but you did not see it up above you. And what begins to climb down at a distance away from you is a reddish looking primate.
Oh.
It's got dark skin and this like red fur and these like really deep blue eyes, and it has four arms, and on each arm is a hand that sort of is like three kind of big fingers, like Ninja Turtle hands, sort of like that. And it's letting itself down from the tree with this like elasticity that is allowed by its long limber limbs. And in one of them it holds a really crude spear, like a pointed stick basically.
Oh, he's making tools.
And it's got this big sack on its throat, and it's just kind of like regarding you in that way that animals do when they're just like assessing if this is a threat.
Beegax takes his hand off his weapon. How far is this monkey creature from us?
It's probably short range from you.
Beegax tells the rest of the party,
Don't pull out any weapons.
and he'll... I guess if I have like rations or something on me, like some kind of food, I'm gonna pull it out slowly, eat some of it, and then put it nearby, like on a leaf or something nearby. I envision these big, huge canopy leaves that can withstand some weight, and I put some food on it, and I back up away from it.
And still staring at you, like, it takes a couple of tentative steps, and it's a big ape, but it uses its arms for locomotion, so it's hunched over a lot. It's probably not too much bigger than Beegax hunched over. You imagine if it stood up, it might have a bit more height to it, to its full height. But yeah, it like lopes over with its arms still holding up this stick and reaches and like takes this ration and like smells it, like rubs its nose in it, and then like uses its lips to break off a little bit, and it makes these noises that are like womp, 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 womp. Sort of like bubbles expanding underwater, like womp, womp, womp. And its like throat is pulsing as it does this.
Cool.
Okay, I look at the party and tell them,
Alright, we're gonna let this thing eat. And if he likes it, we're gonna continue on our way. If not, I don't think we should shoot it or anything, but just kind of scare it off.
You want me to scare it?
Not yet. Let's wait. What happens after this?
It finishes this ration its red fur coated now in a bunch of crumbs, and it looks at you, all of you, and then begins to like walk like up ahead of you, like walk out up ahead of you and in front of you, and then like makes these noises a little louder, like womp 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 womp.
Okay. I think we can follow. I hope this is a good idea.
And he like grumbles.
Oh boy.
Yeah, we follow Womp Womp himself.
Little womp womp. You follow this creature, and it spends a lot of its time, like it starts climbing trees, and it is using a lot of its like momentum to like move through the canopy here. Occasionally it'll go down onto the ground and walk with you, but it sort of like leads you on, and every once in a while it checks back, like it keeps checking back and making those low noises with its like throat bulging, until eventually you come to an area of like low foliage basically, and it climbs up a tree and waits there and makes these noises. Womp, womp, womp. You see a bunch of flowers, like these really vibrant flowers. What do they look like?
They're huge.
Okay, yeah, they're real big, huh?
Yeah.
I keep thinking of like the colors that are unusual here, like blue or purples.
Fuchsia.
Yeah, fuchsia. Things that are like uncommon here. And they're in really strange patterns, like there's stripes on some of the leaves. It's overgrown leaves, and then there's maybe like polka dots on some. It's like all these different strange pigment formations that don't make sense on some of these flowers.
And maybe they've got like super long, what are those sticks in the middle? Stegmas?
Oh,
Stigma,
yeah.
I know what you're talking about, yeah.
Yeah. There, you can both roll me perception checks again if you like. We'll call it an average check with a black die.
1 success, 1 threat. I'm getting so many threats. These bugs must love me.
Yeah, I think that's what it is there's more bugs. Like you just find you're standing in this pile of bugs again.
I got 1 failure, 1 advantage.
Okay, so success is the Elo, you notice this. The flowers seem to be over this this mound of something that you can't tell what it is from where you are standing, but it's like it seems to be like part of the growth. And Beegax, you smell a bad smell. Weird bad smell.
Ugh. Ugh. What is that?
Can I add like a weird thing about these flowers?
Yeah.
Can they have some motion to them where it's like not motion activated, but like as we enter the clearing, they sort of like all face us?
Oh, that's cool. I like that.
Spooky.
Yeah.
Hey, we left the horror genre, Jamie.
Yeah, as you enter, they like sort of all turn
Like
toward
rotate.
you. Yeah. That's very cool.
What's on this? You said there was a mound that these flowers are on top of?
Yeah.
Like a mound of dirt or like a mound of old ruin?
Do you inspect it to find out?
Yeah, Ella will slowly walk up amongst these flowers, and I assume as they're walking through the bush, again, the flowers are sort of like following them with their flowery faces.
That's a cool image too. Elo sort of like getting closer, and all the like flowers are tilting and looking at them. And this ape up in the tree is just like whoop 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 whoop. What's under here on this growth looks like bones.
Oh.
I think I found the source of the smell.
Beegax looks.
Oh boy. What?
He looks up at the ape
Why would you bring us here? I gave you food.
And I am flipping a dark side point, and the sort of like stem that these flowers are growing from opens up into a sticky green cavernous mess and tries to collapse around Elo.
Oh my god!
My God.
Jaws of this enormous plant snap close around Elo's frame, sticky and wet with some kind of organic ooze. Imagine a Venus flytrap, but it's got like, instead of just like 2 closing things, it's got like 3 things, sort of like the Demigorgon from Stranger Things, just like and just like sucking up and like with little needle-like teeth around the edges, wrapping Elo in an alien hug.
A Jumanji hug.
A Jumanji hug is what it's called. And all these little flowers, these brilliant, beautiful colored flowers they've all like turned to look at the meal that that this plant is about to digest. And up high in the sweltering jungle where this 4-armed red ape creature just hooting and hollering, the sack on its neck just expanding loud and jumping up and down in the trees, and the rest of the crew looks on in assumed horror. Let's roll initiative.
I got 1 success, 3 advantage.
I got no success and 3 advantage.
So it looks like we've got NPC, and then PC. Now, one of those NPC slots is your crew. Everyone's around here. Everyone pulls out weapons. Creed pulls out his vibro axe. Verse pulls out her pistol. Obram hides. Oh, sadly, that is just one threat going in. So Verse is like firing at the plant, trying to aim anywhere that isn't Elo. Creed is just like hacking at the stalks. There's other like tentacles that are coming out now from the base of this plant. This tentacle is going to come whipping out at you, Beegax. That's a lot of successes.
It's okay. I've always wanted to make a pod racer anyway, so.
5 successes. Just that. So that's going to be 11 damage, and you are ensnared.
Jeez,
11
that's
damage.
not great.
Yes.
Wow. We just started.
And then it is to a PC slot.
I'll go.
Elo, you can take I believe it is a hard athletics check to attempt to break free at the beginning of your turn. But at the start of your turn, you're like pulled in by this like gripping jaws of this plant. I need you to take 2 strain and 1 wound.
My athletics ain't great, but I gotta at least try, right? Is there any other action that I could take right now? I know that I'm ensnared. Like, I'm not really sure. Maybe I want to stay here and like get close to this thing,
Ensnared just means that you're immobilized.
Okay.
Yeah, you can't move away. Now, it does affect, because you're like engaged with it, if you're trying to like, you could still like try and shoot it or punch it, but trying to shoot it with any kind of range weapon is going to come at a little bit of a penalty because you're like right up in there.
Okay. And if I do the athletics, that won't take up my whole turn. I'll still be able to have an action.
Yeah, you still have an action.
Okay, I'm going to do my athletics check first, which is 1 success, 1 threat.
Okay, so you do escape from this.
So as Elo tumbles down back onto the ground, they're going to land on their knee all badass-like and just swoop their weapon up to try to fire on this thing.
Then the difficulty is a red and a black.
Just 1 threat.
Just 1 threat.
Did I land anywhere close to where Beegax is?
I mean, you step back away from the plant, so you are a short distance away from him. Like, you could get to him easily, but you're with that, you're not in touching distance any longer.
Okay, then I'm good for now.
All right, Beegax, I need you to take 2 strain and 1 wound, please.
What in the hells? Oh my god! Is this from just being grabbed?
Yeah, it's like crushing you in its planty tentacles. So you can attempt to make a hard athletics check to break free if you would like to.
Yes, plucks. Come on, guys. Oh! No! 1 threat.
Just 1 threat. Wow, really
Yeah.
piling up those threats. All right.
This is good.
So you remain ensnared by these thorny vines that are like gripping your hands and legs. Now you still have an action. You just are immobilized, so you cannot move.
I will... Can I shoot the tentacle?
Yes, you can. You'll take a small penalty because you're like right up close to it, but you can do that.
I'm gonna burn a light side point as I try and shoot myself out of this.
Okay, all right.
We only have 2, right? So
Yep.
Beegax is straining, and like he just feels squished, and he's gonna try and finagle his blaster and shoot the vine.
So that's going to be 1 purple, 1 red, and 1 black.
Come on.
Triumph!
Woohoo!
That's a crit right off the bat almost. We gotta respect that.
But the rest is bad. So I got 1 triumph, 1 advantage, right? And then I got on the other side of that, 2 failures, 2 threats. So it equals 1 threat in total.
And a
Oh,
triumph.
sorry, 1 threat and 1 failure in total. Well, triumph, if it's a triumph, doesn't it lose a success value as well?
It does lose its success value, but it is still a triumph. So that is still advantageous to you in some way. Now, what do you think that triumph is? What do you want to do with that?
I want to. Go ahead, sorry.
You want to not be there?
I want to not be gripped. Yeah, I want to not be to there. Yes.
Well, if you can come up with an exciting way for you to not be to there, I'll allow it. Let's give me your pitch.
Okay. Well, I miss the vine. Right. That's the baseline for this failure. Right. I missed the so as I'm gripping it, I fire into a tree, close to where Mr. Four-Armed Orangutan, my friend who I fed food, and he still led us into this despicable trap. And as I fire and it goes, moves near the tree, a flock of these wild birds emerge from the tree, just and almost like, I guess I'm thinking bats more or less. You know, something that's like they darkness, so they hide under the canopy of these large trees. And as they swarm downwards, just like in pure chaos, they pelt the plant, and the plant just like kind of doesn't like the sensation, and it lets me go.
I do like that. It confuses the like senses of the plant. There's like too much going on, yeah, and the grip loosens, and you fall, and that is your triumph spent. A used light side point.
Beegax is
I hate nature.
he's like coughing up blood because I'm at 4 wounds.
We are at the top of the initiative order, and it is going to be your crewmates' turn. They are going to hack and slash and take shots, and now that you're free, versus just laying in with her blaster, and Creed is hacking away at these plants.
Come on, guys.
That's just a straight up wash. Sorry, y'all.
It's okay, Creed.
We forgive you.
He did really good against the security droids, I remember. He was a threat. He was a force to be reckoned with that time.
These vines start to like tangle around Creed, and wow, just washing out here. Just 1 advantage. So he's like, he begins to notice these vines like curling around his legs and arms, and like straining his muscles as he's trying to swing on this plant, and he's hacking away at them. It is to the next PC.
Go ahead, Jamie.
Okay. Because Beegax was hit so hard in those first couple rounds, I'm gonna run over and I'm gonna do a medicine check so that I can hopefully use my surgeon points and get you some extra health.
Don't forget Barney's there too, right? Barney does something special, doesn't he?
Yep. Barney pops off of your back and begins to assist you with your triage. And let's see, Alex, where are your hit points at? Are you less than half your health? Your
Yes.
max HP? All
I am less than half.
Then that's going to be a hard medical check.
Okay.
No. But my wounds are so big.
And what does Barney
That's what makes
do?
it so hard.
Does Barney do anything dice-wise? Like, do I get any blue dye, maybe?
Well, Barney assists with giving additional points of healing to if you make a successful check. But if you can pitch me something really cool that Barney does, I'll give you a blue die. But it's gotta be cool.
He shocks me because I've been an asshole to him. he just shocks me. Just wake up.
Immediately pulls out those cardiac pads and just starts me,
Yeah.
clear.
Clear. You just see clear over his face. I mean, that's funny.
It is pretty
they
funny.
Definitely
No,
do
I don't want
that.
to take. I don't want to take any more damage. I don't want any more damage.
He does a quick little shock to you, clear. And I imagine Beegax is like, no.
Not again.
No, Barney, please.
Yeah, and you can include a blue die.
2 advantages, 1 failure.
All right. That unfortunately will not heal any wounds.
Okay, I tried. Sorry, Beegax. I'm gonna stick here and probably maybe shield Beegax a little from this plant.
Okay, sure. That sounds good. That sounds really good, actually. All right. Next PC. Beegax, you got an Elo in front of you.
I'm going to take the opportunity to take a shot at the plant.
Come on, piece of griff.
And I'm gonna blast it.
Awesome. Please give me, that's going to be a red and a black.
This thing's got some armor. This mama don't mess around.
This mama don't mess around. No mama mess around.
Decided to plant a gender. I'm sorry. It seems like a very strong mama plant.
It's probably both.
Oh, you're
it's-
right.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm
So-
sorry. They is a strong them. But not strong enough. 1 success. And then 1 threat. Jesus.
You hit, so give me that damage, please.
I still don't know how to read damage for this gun. Damage, it says 10.
It's base damage plus any additional successes.
Just 1 success.
All right, so 11 damage, right?
Whoa. Okay, yeah, sure.
Okay, fine. Yeah, all right.
Oh, man. No wonder these guns are illegal. Oh my god.
Yeah. They
I just realized
obliterate.
base damage 10. Like, whoa. Let's buy more. What are we doing?
All right, then this plant is gonna once again try and hook up with Creed.
He does not consent.
Yeah, no, I chose my words correctly. That's exactly what it was.
He doesn't know what he likes. Leave him alone.
Just one advantage. Your crew is going to try again. They are going to continue the fight. I'm gonna flip a dark side point.
Ooh!
I got 1 threat and 1 despair.
It was bound to happen. There's no way that we can't have one without the other sometimes.
This is going to, one of the tentacles does in fact end up grabbing Creed and just like whips him, like just like pulls his leg, and he hits the ground hard and just like flings him back a little ways. He's like, huh? Oh, whoa, and just like lands into a bush. The like face of this plant opens up and just like does like a weird rattly sound, you know, with its leaves, and it is to the next PC.
Okay. All right. Elo, after failing this heal check, is gonna see Creed get thrown across the battlefield, and is just gonna grab one of these stim packs to do a quick fix for Beegax and sort of just jab it right into his arm. It heals 5 wounds, giving him new vigor.
New life.
New life,
New
yes.
life.
Got it. I am at 9.
Hey, that's better than 4.
That's good. No, 9 is good. 9 is
That's
just
pretty good. And that counts as my action, but I can still have a maneuver, correct?
I think it's a maneuver to draw to take something out.
Oh, okay. So then that's my turn.
Maneuver to pull a thing. You could do another maneuver if you want to suffer some strain.
I'm gonna save the strain, and I'll just say that that's my turn.
It is to the next PC.
Okay, Beegax gets needled, I'd say, like on the back of his right clavicle. He starts to like grit his teeth and he, all right. And then he fires again.
Red and a black.
Oh, come on. Okay. 1 success, 3 advantage.
Nice.
Excellent. Give me that damage.
That's 11. I'm going to trigger a critical hit.
I love it. I need you to roll me percentage die.
66.
It is Vicious Force, so it's actually not 66. It's 66 plus 40, so 106.
Oh.
This one's called Horrific Injury. Roll 1d10 for me.
5.
That is agility. So this creature's agility is 1 point lower. That is going to affect some of its rolls. Not the one it's attacking you with, though.
No,
unfortunately.
I didn't think so.
But it does take an incredible hit. What does that look like? Where do you hit on this giant plant?
Beegax, after he gets knocked back, he's getting a stim pack injected behind him. He's just like, ah! Everything slows down for a split second as he takes aim with the disruptor pistol, and he looks at the plant at its base and sees a root, and he fires. And it burns a nice chunk of this plant's roots to the point where, like, I would assume this creature has some. I guess it has some form of sentience or cognition about it, and even though it can't communicate what it's thinking or wants to communicate, Beegax gets the feeling that by disintegrating that nice chunk of roots, this creature probably now realizes it has its own mortality. I put the fear of death into this plant.
If a plant could cower.
Yeah, exactly.
Excellent. Yeah, it makes a horrible hissing noise and shakes its leaves and rattles as it shakes its face up into the sky, and all of the flowers sort of like turn up in pain away from your blast as it sizzles and smolders. These roots and vines are going to try and entangle around Verse as she is firing at this plant, sort of like crouched down in a firing position, and let's see what happens. Oh, there we go. Well, I got a triumph. No success, just a triumph and 2 advantages. I think it knocks the weapon out of her hand. The vines like come up around her, and she is trying to get them off of her, and they end up like entangling up her arm and around her wrist, and like through the gun, like through the trigger of the blaster, and like pull it away out of her hand. And she's like, "Hey, my blaster!"
My gun.
Creed will stand up.
I've got it, don't worry.
And he comes running at this thing, and he is going to take a swing at it. 3 successes, 1 advantage.
Yes!
That advantage is going to get passed forward to the next allied character in the form of a blue die. Cool, and then it is to a PC.
Okay, how is Obram doing? He hiding? He good?
Yeah, Obram seems to be
away,
like cowering in a bush somewhere. Yeah.
And what is up with this ape thing? He just watching?
Yeah, it seems to be watching and like hooting and hollering like a spectator at a blood sport.
I want to try a thing. I might use a light side point, but I know that I'm down on the ground. I want to maneuver up and throw a grenade into this thing's mouth.
Oh, very cool.
I'm gonna use one of the armor piercing ones. Blast 4, limited ammo 1, pierce 3.
We'll get to all that to see. Let's see if you have a success, because all of those things are going to come into play if you can successfully throw a grenade into this plant's mouth. That's so cool. This is going to be a single red.
And you get a blue, Jamie, because of Creed.
You get a blue die.
Okay, here we go. 1 success, 2 advantage.
With 2 advantage, you can activate Blast. I don't think you want to because it also does damage to anything that's engaged with it.
Oh, Creed.
Creed is engaged with it. You're right. Yeah, that's true.
And the crit is 3 for that one anyway, so I wouldn't get it.
So, yeah, give me that damage.
13 damage. Is that including the Pierce 3, I assume?
Pierce 3 means it's going through any kind of armor.
This is like a grenade for a tank.
Right?
And you threw it in a plant's mouth.
Yeah, you hit with this grenade. So I want you to tell me what it looks like when you go for the basket, go for that dunk up this armor-piercing grenade on this giant plant, please.
Okay, Elo is going to jump up off their feet after giving this stim pack to Beegax and pull out this grenade that they have, start to run towards this plant creature, and jumping from like all of its own extremities on these vines make their way up to the top. And as soon as this creature lets out that giant roar from the damage from before, is going to toss this grenade into their 3-flapped mouth. And you're just gonna see this giant blast of like more green goo just ooze out from its head.
Plant fibers just rip away at the part of this plant that just explodes out, and this goo just like goes everywhere. The plant writhes in pain, and it is not happy and not looking great. You took it to the slam. You took it to the jam.
Oh my god.
I picture it like drooling this green goo now.
Oh yeah, definitely. Green goo, and it's got like a smell to it. Like it's got like a really heady smell.
There's just slime everywhere. It's like 90s Nickelodeon, baby.
Yeah, best era of Nickelodeon.
Everyone's getting slimed. There's goop going everywhere. And there's this booming blast that goes off, scaring a few more of those bats that Beegax scared, and they go flying up into a cloud, up into the canopy of this jungle. Very cool. That is a great turn. All right, it is to the next PC.
Beegax is watching this, and it's just him laughing. Yeah, it's just him. Let's do this. Just going insane.
I love Beegax so much.
He's gonna take a shot at the plant.
Red and a black.
Okay, and you don't want to use any points or anything?
You know what? I'll flip a dark side point. Yeah, we'll flip a dark side point. So that's going to be a red, a black, and a purple.
We did good. 1 success, 1 advantage.
Tell us what it looks like when you blow this thing away.
Yes!
Grenades going off, bats flying everywhere. Nickelodeon Gax splash zones happening. Beegax is like trying to get a steady aim. He's getting flashbacks of shooting into the crowd, and he's like, "Yeah, don't do that." And everything like stands still for half a second, but to him it feels like a long time. And he fires that little glob of green energy flying through the air. I'd say it hits almost as if this thing swallowed the disruptor beam, the disruptor pulse, and the insides just sizzle away in that slow motion of like something disappearing, and little bits scatter and fall down like harmless ash from the sky.
This enormous carnivorous plant disintegrates into briefly glowing ash that blows away, revealing Beegax, Elo, and their crew breathing heavy in the thick jungle air. The colorful flowers decorating the dying vines slowly wilt, closing their petals and bowing their heads as if in defeat. The sounds of the jungle begin to rise again over the calm that is settling in after combat. Obram steps out of a bush and he was like, "Oh, that was very exciting."
Beegax turns around covered in goo, looks at the ground, kind of mushes it with one of his feet.
Exciting's not the word I'd use, Obram, but It was something.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Respect the Crit Empire's Edge. If you like what you heard, please consider supporting us by giving us a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts. It's easy, free, and helps other people learn about the show. And we love reading your feedback. For more information about the show, visit @RespectTheCrit on Twitter and Instagram, or come chat with us on our official Discord server. Beegax is played by Alex Herrera, who you can find on Twitter @AE Herrera or on his Twitch channel, WadeWolf10. Elo is played by Jamie Lee-Bonés, who you can find on Instagram @jamielee.bones. I'm Ian Duncan, your GM and MC, and you can find me @idunks on Twitter and Instagram. The original music featured in this episode is provided with license or permission by a variety of talented artists, whose information and credits are linked in the show notes. Please support them by visiting their platforms to check out more of their work, and tell them how much you like their music in our show. The Star Wars role-playing system is published by Fantasy Flight Games. And remember, whatever the system, whether it's a miss or a hit, you always gotta respect the crit. Thank you very much, and may the Force be with you. Bounding from branch to branch and swinging from
motorcycle to
motorcycle to motorcycle, baby. Just
Woo, Mad Max.
wheelies, just wheelie up. F9, Vin Diesel.
We're just throwing buzzwords. This is going to be the outtakes. I can tell already. This is at the end of the episode. I know already. I already know.